Hey everybody, it's Aaron from the Kilby Life, bringing another Kilby Life reaction video. Today I'm reacting to the LMHR Lean Mass Hyperresponder paper video abstract from Nicholas Norwitz. And let's see what he has to say. He's doing studies with Dave Feldman. And I always click the wrong button there. All right, let's do this.
Wouldn't it be great if we could predict which patients will experience larger LDL cholesterol increases after adopting a low carbohydrate
Yeah, that would be great.
diet? What can be done if this phenomenon occurs?
Okay. I mean, not to just stop it over and over and over right off the bat, but what can be done if this phenomenon occurs? And that's why I'm here watching this video.
Video abstract will present information from a newly published paper from Current Developments in Nutrition titled Elevated LDL Cholesterol with a Carbohydrate-Restricted Diet: Evidence for a Lean Mass Hyperresponder Phenotype.
The popularity of ketogenic and low-carbohydrate diets is increasing as individuals adopt these forms of therapeutic carbohydrate restriction to treat a wide range of chronic metabolic diseases, most commonly obesity and diabetes. Yeah,
So I've had obesity. I was an obese person and had type 2 diabetes. That's why I went to a low carb diet. Exactly.
But also neurological and neurodegenerative conditions, ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, and other inflammatory or autoimmune disorders. But despite the fact that carbohydrate restriction shows promise for so many medical conditions, there are obstacles preventing the adoption of carbohydrate reduction among the medical community. One major obstacle is the fear of rising LDL cholesterol, an important risk factor for cardiovascular disease. Now, while many people on low carbohydrate diets, most people actually, do not experience increases in LDL, some experience extreme increases in LDL.
What's extreme?
And the million-dollar question is, what sets these people apart? In this study, we investigate that very question by performing a hypothesis-naive exploratory analysis on a group of 597 individuals who are on a low-carb diet and do not take cholesterol-lowering medications. Our analyses revealed an astonishing inverse relationship between body mass index and LDL cholesterol change upon carbohydrate restriction. It also revealed...
I saw that it just went back here. Let's actually bring that back. I want to make sure we see that. It was talking about showing how, right here, on a low carb, less than 130 grams a day diet who are currently not on medications. So less than 130 grams of carbohydrates per day. That was the cutoff point there. But I'm trying to do 0 and 10 or less.
Do not take cholesterol-lowering medications. Our analyses revealed an astonishing inverse relationship between body mass index and LDL cholesterol change upon carbohydrate restriction.
I will put a link to my labs video that I just released about this. The more that my body mass index goes down, the higher my LDL has gone up. And I don't think that it is dietary.
It also revealed an inverse relationship between triglyceride to HDL ratio, a marker of metabolic health, and LDL change with carbohydrate restriction. In other words, we observed that leaner people with better metabolic health markers were the ones at risk for increases in LDL. Now, given these surprising results, we then chose to select out individuals with the following triad of markers: LDL greater than or equal to 200 milligrams per deciliter, HDL greater than or equal to 80 milligrams per deciliter, and triglycerides less than or equal to 7.
So here's the thing when it comes to a lean mass hyperresponder that I'm trying to research is I got the LDL high. My HDL is not that high yet, but it's at 50. But it's every time I get labs done, it goes higher. And my triglycerides are quite a bit lower. I think they were at a 98. So they're getting lower and lower and lower. So I didn't actually meet these criteria. And I'm wondering, will I hit them one day, or am I not a lean mass hyperresponder?
70 milligrams per deciliter. Cut points that were actually proposed 4 years ago to compose a theoretical subset of individuals termed lean mass hyperresponders.
So not BMI.
However, until present, there was no concrete evidence that lean mass hyperresponders existed, nor that individuals passing these 3 lipid cut points, the metabolic definition of lean mass hyperresponders, were actually any leaner than other persons. But our data showed not only that lean mass hyperresponders existed, but they had an exaggerated low-carb lipid triad of very high LDL, very high HDL, and very low triglycerides. Mean levels among lean mass hyperresponders were 316 milligrams per deciliter for LDL,
Mine's higher than that.
99 milligrams per deciliter for HDL, and 47 milligrams per deciliter for triglycerides among 112 lean mass hyperresponder respondents. And importantly, these individuals, though exhibiting large increases in LDL, had normal pre-low carb diet LDL levels. And finally,
I'm just wondering, is this like a progression? There's some people, lean mass hyperresponders, that are way up here, some down here, some down here. Like there's different echelons of reactions for these people. And yeah, there's some questions that I would like to hear what he has to say next.
true to their name, they were significantly leaner than other participants. Now, the existence of the lean mass hyperresponder phenotype is consistent with the main finding of our paper that, in the context of good metabolic health, lower BMI or leanness is directly related to larger increases in LDL cholesterol observed on a low-carb diet. Finally, we report in this paper on a case series of 5 patients who were all tested for genetic causes of high LDL and who all tested negative, and demonstrate that the high LDL phenotype is readily reversible even with moderate reintroduction of carbohydrates on the order of 50 to 100 grams per day, and while maintaining a relatively low carbohydrate diet of less than 130 grams per day. All individuals in the case series exhibited substantial decreases of at least 100 milligrams per deciliter LDL, with the leanest of lean mass hyperresponders exhibiting a decrease of 480 milligrams per deciliter LDL from 665 milligrams per deciliter to 185 milligrams per deciliter, all without medication.
So this automatically just starts something with me, because what do I do? Because obesity problems, type 2 diabetes, I don't want those to come back. I don't want to have diabetes. And he's saying if you're a lean mass hyperresponder, like sometimes they were dropping their LDL cholesterol by adding back in a moderate amount of carbs. Okay, what would a moderate amount of carbs be, for one? What kind of carbs? And would it bring back my type 2 diabetes? These are all questions that I have. We'll see what he answers, what answers we get from it. And if you have any links to other videos for me to learn about these things, make sure you put them down in the comments.
Now, it should be noted that our data are preliminary and purely observational, and do not address the safety of low carbohydrate diets for people with high LDL. Nevertheless, they suggest that lean people who are metabolically healthy are the ones most likely to see substantial increases in LDL on low-carb diets. And conversely, these data imply that those adopting low-carbohydrate diets for obesity or type 2 diabetes, the most prevalent use cases for carbohydrate restriction, have a lower likelihood of experiencing these LDL increases.
Okay, well, lower likelihood. That's me. That's me. But is it impossible? Am I a magical unicorn?
And this will no doubt be considered great news for individuals with diabetes or obesity and for their physicians. In addition, these findings open up fascinating questions like, why is it that lean, healthy people exhibit increases in so-called bad cholesterol. Doesn't this seem paradoxical?
Yes, seems completely
Furthermore,
paradoxical.
what is the relative risk associated with high LDL among lean mass hyperresponders as compared to those with similar LDL levels due to genetic conditions? These questions will be addressed by upcoming projects.
Nice.
This lean mass hyperresponders paper was just the first domino.
All right, well, that was a good video. It started explaining some of the things, but they don't have all the answers. And I'm still not sure if I'm a lean mass hyperresponder. I think I am, but I might not be. So I'm gonna keep researching these things and running at them. I will put a link to this video into the description. Make sure to like and subscribe to that channel, and like to subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more Kilby Life videos. And please send me videos that you would like me to do research on. I watch most of them. Do I get to react to all of them? No. But I appreciate all the time you guys give me and just going with me on this journey of mine to get healthy and try to figure out why my cholesterol is high and how to balance between not being obese and type 2 diabetic and being healthy and having high LDL cholesterol with all the other markers of heart attack or heart disease way lower. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching this Kilby Life video. Kilby out.